to bring in Larry Sabato. Mentioned crystal ball. That's his game. There he is, University of Virginia, director of the Center for Politics at UVA. Thank you, Larry. I'm glad for whatever reason here, the shot went down. It means you and I get to have a quick conversation, which I was hoping to do anyway today about this race, because it's interesting what we've been watching all week. Trump still trying to make the border a big issue. It's been advantaged Republicans. But your map, I just talked about it. You reset it. You have 7 swing states, right? So it's. I know the Democrats are having a good week, but what's actually happening in the race, big picture?
Overall, it's this. It really is close. Everyone uses that as cover, but this one is very, very close. And the 7 swing states, which means, of course, 43 states aren't swing. The 7 swing states will decide it. And Arizona is a very good place for you to be, because that is a question of inches, not yards, certainly not miles. It will be very, very close. And that whole border area is as split as Arizona is as a whole.
You know, the thing about Arizona that's interesting, you see Trump, he's in Cochise County, he won there. Maricopa County is where all the people are, as I always say in Arizona. It's the most populated county. Usually that's where you want to have the turnout if you're the Democrats. But Biden won it by 10,000, right? And now we have all these rumors that by tomorrow, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. drops out of the race. He's going to be in Arizona. If he does throw his support behind Trump, what's your take? I've heard all kinds of things on what the impact of that might be, especially in a place like Arizona. What do you think?
Well, that's a few inches, okay? It would help Trump maybe a few inches. It's not going to make a dramatic difference, because I'm not even sure that Kennedy's at 5 or 6% anymore. Remember, those polls are a little bit stale, too. He's been falling like a rock for lots of different reasons. Also, remember, a state is not static. In 4 years' time, it is changing constantly, and it can make a difference cumulatively. So people are moving into the state, and people are moving out of the state, and people are aging into the electorate, and people are aging out of the electorate, which is a euphemism for saying dying. And so the actual constituency changes substantially. In a state like Arizona is one of the states that changes most rapidly.
You know, if you look at Trump, right, and this is the 3rd time he's run for president. So he's there in Arizona. I was looking at the numbers earlier. I'm curious of what your take is in states. You know, like Pennsylvania is a good example of this as well. Trump gets his number, right? So in Pennsylvania, when he ran in 2016, he got 48.8% of the vote. Then he ran again in 2020, got 48.8% of the vote. You know, turnout matters, but, you know, Gary Johnson was in there, as you see, 2016. Jill Stein was in. And Arizona's the same. So I flip over to Arizona. Look, pretty much the same, 49.5 for Trump, whether you're the left or the right of the screen. But when the third-party candidates have been in the past, you know, Trump's has not done as well when it's just been a head-to-head matchup. So that's why I wonder if this conventional wisdom about RFK getting out is really going to help him or not. So I guess we'll see. But what's your take?
Well, my take is I'm glad you raised that, because a lot of people don't understand that. You can look at this map, and you can look at the independent candidates, and you can say, well, if RFK Jr. drops out, it's pretty obvious that 63% of his vote will go to Trump. No, it's never that simple. That is so superficial, which describes most of the analysis. It's never that simple, and you're going to find this is very complicated, because people can go to another independent. They can stay on the couch and not vote. They can move in both directions. You'll have some of them go to Harris, probably more of them go to Trump, but I don't know that it's going to amount to all that much additional support for Trump.
A couple other things here, as we see Trump in Cochise County now walking. I think he's going to make formal remarks. We'll see whether that happens, and we get a better shot of it when he does about immigration. The Democrats in their convention, what about bounces? Because that's the debate we've been having in our special coverage, Larry, at night, is about maybe Kamala Harris got her bounce early because of the unique circumstances of this year, and she won't get as much of a bounce after the convention, or maybe she will. What do you think?
Well, I'm drawing on history here, and we've never had an exact parallel to what's going on. But basically, the bounce in recent times, we've had tiny bounces, like a point or two, sometimes not even that. We used to have much bigger bounces. You'd have 6, 7, 8%, but it always faded. You give it a week or 2 or 3, and you go back and you find out that we're back at stasis. We're where we were before the convention was held. So I don't know if the bounces matter that much anyway, but I'll be shocked if she gets a big bounce, because it's ahistorical. It doesn't make any sense. She got a bounce when she got in.
Yeah.